What's good, y'all, man? We got a new Avengers Doomsday link, set, video reveal, battle world. Like it up, somebody trying to hit the bell if you're new. And let's see what this link's talking about. I don't know if you're gonna show it, but if you do, we're gonna see it. But if we don't, we gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna talk about it. But yeah, like it up on my channel. Let me know y'all excited for Doomsday and the other Avengers movie. Let me know kind of below. And yeah.
For Avengers Doomsday. Now this was posted.
Dang, look at that, y'all. Link, they don't give a fuck. They in the forest though. So how y'all ain't gonna lie, I wonder, I might be saying, is it the people that making the movie showing y'all? Because how y'all be knowing these locations though, man? Like how y'all know? Because I don't know what's going on in location. You know what I mean? Like how y'all know? It gotta be somebody that's in the movie, or not, or not director, but you know, in the movie helping them out. And that's what they know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Posted to TikTok and again has already started circulating.
Cause like how people know their location. Like y'all got me on some genius shit, man.
You can clearly see what looks like tents.
I don't know what you know what I mean. I don't know who films, and you know what I'm saying. I don't be knowing, or anybody be knowing.
I want to stop for a minute and focus on what looks like huge lighting cauldrons that obviously would be maybe pre-electricity, say in a Victorian era, and then you keep going and there's a lot of Marvel sets that have been set in the forest in previous Marvel movies, like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Wolverine sets, obviously, and then even earlier than that, maybe say like a Captain America World War I setting. But there's something here that shows up that really sets the time period, and it's this cannon right here. Now, obviously, you can't just look at a cannon and date the entire battlefield or when this is set, because cannons could have appeared as early as the 12th and for sure in the 13th century, and then were used all the way up until the early 1900s. So we know that this is at least set sometime in the past. When exactly, we don't know, but this is not modern times. Which means, at least in some way, we can rule out some of the previous forest scenes inside and outside of the MCU and Marvel movies. They're not. Way we can rule out some of the previous forest scenes inside and outside of the MCU and Marvel movies they're not flashing back to now. I'm sure a lot of you had visions of this scene here from Wolverine Origins. I know I thought of it immediately with the cannon, because in this scene, in a couple of the frames, you see a very similar cannon, but I think we can rest assured they're not jumping back to this moment in Wolverine Origins to grab this Wolverine, especially after Deadpool and Wolverine. And if you missed our coverage from earlier in the week, one of the leaked set aerial shots shows that they're remaking the Deadpool and Wolverine set when they were taking on the Deadpool core. So if we are revisiting that moment, it's probably to grab those two, including that specific Logan, who will happen to be in costume with the cowl. Perfect timing, not the Logan from Wolverine Origins. Now, to be quite frank, I don't think this looks like any flashback scenes at all. There are just too many peculiar details that earmark this as being set in a different kind of time and place. And that time and place, I think, is specifically Battleworld. I think this is the Hulk region of Greenland that we saw in the leaked concept art that the Russos very confidently and emphatically insisted are not spoilers, because they're not their concept art, but came from the official Marvel artist. This has, of course, been shared all over social media.
They probably didn't want them to be like,
covered at length in our channel and many other YouTube channels. But when you look at this panel right here, and again in the Hulk part of Greenland in Battleworld, and you make sure to pick up on a lot of the hints that are being given to us from the architecture, the way that there's a huge short.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays, because some love a rustic cabin. Others feel differently.
Sort of wall behind all of them around the castle. They're in the shadow of that, looking at the architecture, and then you compare it to some of the stuff we're seeing, like the lighting posts and the cannon in this setting, and I think very clearly these are set in the exact same place. Now, the interesting point would be, we would think we would see something like this scene in Avengers Secret Wars, and after Doom has succeeded in creating Battleworld, something we thought would happen maybe at the end of Avengers Doomsday. But we know for sure that these set photos are taken from the set of Avengers Doomsday, because they don't even shoot Secret Wars until next year. Keep in mind, they might keep some of these sets around, but they're not shooting Secret Wars right now, which really to me tells me we could be much further along in Doom's plan in Avengers Doomsday, or instead of this being in Battleworld set again in Greenland or the Hulk part of Greenland. It could just be the outside of Latveria, shadow of Castle Doomstadt. And look, I still think they very clearly revealed Latveria during that scene in Moon Knight when we got all the small hints to Doctor Doom. There's just too many similarities in the winding road and how Doomstadt has been portrayed, how Castle Doom has been portrayed in the comics, but they don't have to revisit that exactly. We just know here and in this setting, it's not in current times, at least in the modern world. Something about this is extremely throwback in the same way that that concept art was. Now, some of you guys in the previous videos were asking about the set photos and the set leaks, and remember I had said here at the channel we were doing the same thing for Deadpool and Wolverine, and that there are a lot of photography companies with high-powered drones that are worth it to them to go ahead and fly these over the sets. How does that all work? It is totally legal for someone to post a video of something that was taken on set if it's being filmed outside. That's why Marvel Studios makes sure to film all the important stuff inside and on sound stages so this doesn't happen. But it always looks better when you shoot on location, and for at least parts of these films, they're going to be doing it for Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday, and if someone is able to fly a drone over and get shots, or cell phone videos like this, if they're able to actually approach the set itself, if it's taken outside, it is fair game. That's why you're seeing this, circulated on social media and YouTube, because we're allowed to. I know some of you also are going to attempt to avoid spoilers over the next year or two, and I totally understand. That's why we haven't put any of the actual set video photos in the thumbnail. I used to do that for Deadpool and Wolverine. You guys said, some of you said you didn't want to be spoiled. Cool. We don't put the photos there. We won't, and we will of course continue to issue spoiler warnings and make it so you have to stick around for a little while in the video to actually see it. This is all basically to make my final point. Once something's out there on social media or on Reddit, it's fair game to be talked about. We could here at the channel choose not to cover things, and I know that there are other channels in our little corner of YouTube that choose to go that route and try to avoid spoilers at all costs, which to me is totally cool. Everybody's just got to do what they feel is right. My thing is I think it's almost impossible once something's out there and you've read it to act like it isn't. That's why we've always taken the same approach here at this channel, and if it's out there, if it's something that I want to talk about, we're going to talk about it, and that's what we're going to continue to do for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And look, I am definitely not trying to catch any smoke or stir it up with any other content creators. Everybody's just got to do what they're comfortable doing, but I also think it's really hard to pretend that something doesn't exist after you've read it when everybody knows that it exists, and then try to cover this stuff. That just seems impossible to me, so we might as well talk about it for what it is. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. If you have a different idea for what this set could be, I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff.
Anyway, man, like it up, man. So my channel, man, we got a set video, man. Y'all solid. Let me know what y'all think. You feel me? I don't know how they be getting these videos. I don't know how they know their locations, but they know their locations though, man. They know it. They search them on the web. They like, you feel me, man? And then get it done like that. But anyway, man, like it up. So my channel, the best new. And yeah, alright, peace.